Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Litecoin Lisa. Did I go live? I did go live. Okay. Today is Tuesday. So my buddy Satoshi Sean's going to join me. We're going to talk about some truthful things and get your thoughts on it in the live chat. So jump in the live chat and join the community there. We'll see you back. And I want to talk to you about this. Welcome back, Sean. How are you?
Doing pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm doing quite wonderful. There's a lot going on. Feels like every day it's like, oh, wait, we should talk about this. We should talk about that. Wait, there's this happening too, and that happening, and lots of big things. What do you think the biggest story is like right now today?
Right now today? See, that's tough, man, because there's so much going on.
There's a lot.
I mean, the Syria thing is kind of a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
A guy got arrested in England because he called someone smelly on social media. But people get like 18 months for that. So it's I can't comprehend
it. Like unrealistic, like crazy time. Very crazy.
Did you see the thing I sent you about the woman who she sent a text and said something bad about this guy, like you're a dick or something? But he was one of 5 rapists that raped this 15-year-old. I think he was related, and she got arrested and they got let go. But she got arrested for hate speech or something.
For harassment or something? Was it hate speech?
Yeah,
because they gang raped
like
a 6-year-old.
15-year-old, yeah.
A 15-year-old. Okay, I'm sorry.
I think it was 15, but it was in Germany. So like
that was in Germany. I wondered where that was.
All of Europe is just nuts, man.
Europe is lost their mind. Well, that was some of what I wanted to talk about. I think probably the Daniel Penny thing is one of the biggest things, and I wanted to talk about that too. But
oh yeah, see that's a whole nother thing. I want to talk about kind of that more on my channel. I was going to talk about that kind of stuff because I think we're at a point now where people got to start putting their money where their mouth is, you know?
Yeah, I think that's what's happening is that, and it was in not just that, but it was in Cliff's data that like people would be fed up with or not able to pay their car loans and stuff and just start walking away from their cars. And like this guy drove his car into a Mazda dealership because it had just been hours after he bought it and they wouldn't let him return it. And I don't know what happened. And he drove his car through the front doors. I think people are just like that fed up where they're like sick of always getting the shaft, getting bullied. The Daniel Penny thing. I think he was being a good Samaritan. And then for them to use his military training or try to use his military training against him instead of like, no, he was protecting the community. And yes, it's very sad that guy died, but
also none of that matters because he was alive when the police got there. So then,
really?
So he's not involved. You know what I mean? He's already out. Like it's been, and the police they did CPR, but they wouldn't do mouth to mouth because they said that the dude was disgusting, and the cops said I didn't want my officers to have the chance to get AIDS. So we did CPR and we did, other stuff.
They all carry one of those little.
No, they don't. That's the whole big thing, that they don't have the guards. The EMTs weren't there, and they said that everyone has to have that.
Police officers have them too. Maybe just EMTs have the guards. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, cops that's like not their first responders in a different way. But yeah, and these are subway cops. They're not like in a car with a trunk full of stuff, so they're all on foot.
I see.
So maybe, you know, like officers that are in cars have it in their kit. But yeah, I mean, the sergeant said, "Hey, they weren't going to put their lips on the guy's lips. They're not going to risk getting hepatitis or HIV." You know,
That is crazy. Yeah. Gerald Draper says the healthcare hit guys caught at Mickey D's with all the evidence. How convenient that he would still have all the evidence with him. That's and hanging around like at McDonald's. That seems very unbelievable.
yeah, it doesn't matter. The
Yeah,
thing,
for
it
rules of
was
engagement.
anyway. But you know, I saw Cash in this interview, and it was interview on I think Blaze, and he was like, I've seen the JFK document. I know everything. And the guy was like, Glenn Beck was like, you can't just say that to someone. You have to. Well, what is it? He's like, there's nothing. Like you already know everything. Everybody already knows everything that's in there. He's like, is there people that are still alive that are involved? He goes, yeah, I can't go that far in saying anything about it, but everyone knows. It's already, you know, everyone already has the information. If it comes out, it's not like it's going to be a shock.
Well, that's actually what I Am for I Am did a show with me yesterday about was there was some new information that had come out about there being a possible second shooter like in the train bridge. Can't remember what it's called, but in the arcade or the hallway of the train bridge. And they even show this guy bought like some very expensive images from Getty Images. And then he like blew them up and they were very, you know, high quality, whatever. And he blew them up and like did all this research. And they show like the perfect angle where it came in through the windshield. And there's even a guy, was like on it with all his diagrams. And I guess this is another guy's research, but he was sharing it.
But it basically goes back to the same thing we were talking about, same thing I'm going to talk about. It's just, it's like everyone, it's the Area 52 thing. It's like, yeah, we know. You know, everyone knows. Stop lying. You know, whenever they do, be like, yep, we knew. You know.
Well, they keep putting it in everybody's face. And that's where, like, so I know you have some experience with the church and all that. And Notre Dame was this weekend. I happened to pick up this plate at a estate sale closeout this weekend. And it's actually a Lefton. Lefton was commissioned by the Order of the Eastern Star.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks like the Eastern Star
to do these plates. Well, if you watch, like I watched the whole Notre Dame thing. It was very weird. When the priests came in, which I don't know what their official titles are or whatever, but not the main guy with the white and the gold, but the red guy, the only one wearing red.
It's probably Bishop.
Yeah, maybe. Or Cardinal. I don't know. Are Cardinals red like the bird? I don't know the rules. But they were all the guys in white were wearing these colors on their, you know how their robes mean something? Like it's very symbolic. Well, you know, from your mom doing all this.
Yeah, you know that movie, the new one that just came, Conclave?
No.
Just type it in real quick and you can look at the picture.
Okay. Well, they were giving the ceremony, like, so there, I was watching on French TV, but in English, and there were guys there giving, like narrating, and they were explaining, because they used to do tours in Notre Dame. And so they said, well, the tours won't start up for another week because we're going to let people go and have religious experience, whatever. But then we're going to start the tours again. And he's like explaining that, like, this is where, like, yes, the church was rebuilt, but now it's being, at this ceremony, it's being given back to the church because it was like built by the city and, you know, all the people and all that. And then they put Trump right next. So it was Macron, Trump, Macron's wife, Jill Biden, and I think her daughter, I don't know, some girl. And on the front row. And I thought that was weird. They made sure Trump was like one of the last people to come in. I'm sure that's a security thing or whatever. But when I saw that bishop or cardinal, the red guy, salute Trump as they came in, it was like a marriage procession, and like here comes but that's also the church that Napoleon made himself king of France. Sorry, I'm doing the hand motions like we do at school because it's part of our song. So Napoleon kinged himself. He pronounced himself king of France.
I had the right word, and you took it out of my head.
I'm sorry.
Ordained.
Do you want me to do the hand movement?
He ordained himself.
Ordained himself.
Yeah.
Okay. That's where he announced that was in Notre Dame. And so I was like, what is going on here? Is that what? And when they were doing the procession, Macron was walking behind all the bishops and whatever. And so I was like, did he just make himself king? Or are they acknowledging to Trump with Trump sitting there? Like there had to be way more going on. There was so much ceremony and,
well, it's Catholicism. That's
religious. Yeah. They
had a lot of ceremony.
Bang on the door 3 times. And then the kids say like, the kids are singing this beautiful song and they say, you cannot pass, you cannot pass. And then he bangs on the door again. You cannot pass, you cannot pass. Bangs on the door a 3rd time and they somehow let him in, which Cannon was saying that in one of his video games or Beetlejuice or something, like that's a satanic symbol. So there was a lot of like, and they kept talking about the stars, and then all of the guys in white were wearing these other colors on their. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's Masonic.
Well, yeah, the Order of Eastern Star is the women's auxiliary of the Masons.
It's the women's?
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Why were all those men wearing those colors?
It's the Eastern Star is the women's auxiliary organization of the Masons.
Oh my gosh, now I'm even more confused. Okay. Unless they were pointing at Macron's wife and saying like she's really the one that's been queen or really in charge, because if you watched like
I thought she was a guy. Macron's wife.
Oh, that's right. I heard those rumors.
Candace Owens like did all this
that she's really a guy, and then well, wouldn't that make sense then that the priests are dressed in women's colors? Isn't that then like a shame ritual thing or somehow calling them out?
I don't know. I didn't see it. And I don't know what a woman's color is besides pink.
No, please. These, the evil ones. Like, I don't know. It was just, I have a lot more questions than I do answers on that, but it seemed to have a lot of things going on. There was so much ceremony, and when that read,
well, Catholicism's a lot of ceremony and symbolism,
right? But when the bishop guy, why is he saluting Trump?
I was about to say it's very military. There's a chain of command. Like priests aren't allowed to do certain things, unless like this one dude, he was doing the exorcist of the diocese in Tennessee. He is the exorcist priest there, right? Mm-hmm. But he was doing exorcisms and helping other priests, but he wasn't specifically an exorcist, because the bishop of that diocese said, "Hey man, that's too much to put on one priest. I don't think that there really should be exorcist priests. I think it's just too much for one guy." And then he died. So then these priests were like, "Hey, I got this person's possessed. Come and help me." And the priest's like, "Hey, I can't. The guy's dead. I don't have the authority to come and help." Which that's the whole thing about Catholicism to me is really weird. He's like, "No, I won't help you with this or help this person who's possessed because I don't have the authority because this guy died." I'm like, what? It's a calling. You go do that. But then he went to the new bishop, and the new bishop's like, "Hey, I heard you're the exorcist." And then he's like, "Well, no, the last bishop said he didn't want that to be all on one person." He's like, "Well, that seems like you're doing the job with one hand tied behind your back. You need to be an exorcist. So then he goes to Rome. They don't say the Vatican. They say Rome. So he went to Rome and took the class to be an exorcist, which is 2 weeks and has an entire day just for Harry Potter.
Oh, come on.
I swear to you. An entire class just on Harry Potter.
What they do before Harry Potter?
I guess it was a shorter class.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah. So then you go through this like intense training at the Vatican, and then he comes back and he's officially the exorcist for Tennessee.
But he can't cross state lines.
Where? Well, he for the diocese, wherever the diocese
Okay.
is. But he says there's like 2 to 4 a month that he does just there. Pretty crazy.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people are struggling, and I do believe there's a spiritual battle and all that. So, I think it's important to get yourself right with whatever belief you have of all that is, or God, whatever you feel comfortable calling it. But, and I think mental illness plays into it, and maybe that makes people more susceptible to, like dark spirits, and also like just being around the stuff. I mean, like when I was a kid, I never watched scary movies because my mom told me, like, don't expose yourself to that stuff, because
you open it up.
Opening yourself up.
That one priest did make a very interesting point about that, about the Ouija board. Like, even as a kid, I was in Toys R Us. I was like, what the fuck is a Ouija board doing here? And I was a child.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is not cool.
No.
Yeah. So Monopoly, biggest selling game in the world ever, period. Kicks ass. Milton Bradley. The year the Ouija board came out, it like 10x'd Monopoly.
Really?
Yeah. And he
the
was
year it came out, like in Toys R Us, you mean?
When it came out, that is before Toys R Us. It came out. I forget what year. He was talking about like when they were making it, how they bought it, like the story of it was like kind of creepy and chilling, and then the fact that it blew up so fast, and it was like, I mean, literally, it was like the biggest game there was. It's just, you can really see that powers are at work, you know.
Yeah, I do believe that there are spirits, or forces or energies, I don't know, angels, aliens, whatever the heck you want to call them. I don't know. But that's crazy to think. I didn't know the Ouija board that happened. Let's see. There was, and we can talk more about it on your channel if you want. I know that you guys are going to talk about it on Thursday. I am told me, but the Roger Ver interview with Tucker came out.
Yeah, that's nuts.
It's like 30 minutes long, but he's very succinct in all his points. Yeah. It's very interesting to watch.
I was giving Lee crap about it. I was like, oh, Roger told me you can't come and hang out and talk because, blah, blah. He said, not till all this is over. And then he goes and talks to someone. And Lee was like, who to talk to? Wasn't this fucker? Wasn't that? I was like, like people that we know.
Mm-hmm.
I won't say their names. I was like, no. It's like Tucker Carlson. He was like, what? It's like,
yeah, it's a big deal. Tucker Carlson's show has more views than like CNN or any of those.
I told it, and I was like, dude, this is the title of it. It's like why they, the intelligence community. He goes, oh man, that means we can't have him on our channels anymore. I was like, why? He goes, I said, we're already on lists.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, but I want to come back to the States and like visit and stuff.
Oh,
he's like, I can't. I said, yeah, they probably will put. I said, I haven't tried to fly yet, but I'm sure I'm probably on some kind of weird.
I'm sure that's why I get harassed every time I go through.
Yeah.
Like, I get pulled aside, felt up, my stuff gone through like every time. But told to stay in the spinny round thing extra long. I'm like, why would I stay in here longer unless you're spraying me with something,
spitting out.
radiating me. Just crazy. Also, and I can't remember his title, but something Chief Searcy. The video that he put out in his uniform, and he's very serious. This is like
the warrant officer.
Warrant officer. Okay.
Yeah.
He is. It literally made me cry. He is so sincere. He knows what he's doing. He says that he understands he's doing this in his uniform, and that's on purpose. And that he says, this was done. He had horrible things happen to him personally because of him getting kicked out or he still had to serve, but then was not paid. So they let him serve.
That was weird because he was in the reserves. So they made him train.
Yeah.
And he couldn't go work his regular job.
Right.
But then
they made him serve and be around the other people, but they just didn't pay him because he wouldn't get the jab. That makes no sense.
That was very odd.
And then because of it, he had all this financial trouble, all this, ended up getting divorced, and goes into all that. And then he says, and to my fellow servicemen and women, he said, I'm asking you to stand with me because if you thought about this, you took a unapproved, it was not approved by the FDA. Mm-hmm. It was a untested or unapproved experimental vaccine. And he said, if you want to know how, if we think about like how the other side works, how would you wipe out the military in another country? Force them to take a vaccine that's bad? 96% compliance in the military for the jab. And if that number was...
Give them all beepers.
What's that?
Or give them all...
Yes, exactly. Whatever that infiltration is. But he's like, if you look at the level of compliance that there was, that would have been devastating to our military. Like, hopefully there's rumors that the military found out and some people got saline and other people's immune systems were strong enough.
The military always gets messed up. You could look at Agent Orange in Vietnam and in Desert Storm, Desert Shield. Like they had these chemical detectors that would go off like every 15 minutes, and everybody had to put their mop gear on, and they're not supposed to go off unless they detect
their what gear?
Their mop gear.
I don't know what that means.
The gas mask, rubber stuff to cover their bodies, and they were like, it's a mistake. They're faulty, but then people started getting sick, and they started having all these diseases and problems and stuff. So they were actually detecting chemicals that were they're being attacked. That's the military, man. That's what happens.
It's heartbreaking, but anyway, I just really have a lot of respect for him. He also said that he was speaking to his commander in chief, and it was like not Trump or Biden. It was some other guy, which was like the state.
Speaking to his commander. Well, he was speaking to, he said his commander and his commander, and then he was also speaking to his senator. But that his commander sent paper or letters to the senator to kind of probably cover his own ass and that were the opposite of what this guy was saying. So yeah,
it was. I just have a lot of respect for him, so I'd love for people to go share that. Like I said, the Roger Ver video is up. It's on Tucker Carlson. It streams on Twitter, so you can watch it. It's about 30 minutes or so. It's not really long, but it is very succinct. It has tons of information, and that was really heartbreaking to listen to as well. And he talks about, and it's the same theme. Like this guy's standing up. Daniel Penny stood up. Now Roger Vere's standing up, and he's saying like it's that whole saying when they came for the whoever, I didn't say anything. And now they're coming for me and there's no one to say anything. And so, and he does mention in this video, he says, guys, this is not a right or a left thing. This is not a red or a blue thing, but you've got to get behind Trump and what he's doing to try to bring in RFK, make America healthy again. This is not about parties. This is about us coming together and doing the right thing for humanity instead of worrying about what the law is and if we're going to get in trouble for doing the right thing. And so just a lot of these guys really, and that's the same thing with Roger Ver. And everybody can go to, I think I still have the thing up. Yes. freerogernow.org. And you can sign a petition. You can get more information. But you can sign this open letter to help Free Roger. They're asking Biden for a pardon right now. And they're going to also request that when Trump gets in, that he pardons him. And it's insane.
Yeah, I should have asked before the election. A lot more apt to get a yes. You know, that's how politics are.
Was he picked up yet, though? Because he just got picked up at that Bitcoin conference in Spain. Like, I thought it was in.
No, it's like 2 months ago.
November. Okay, more into
he's been out because I mean he's been talking to me and he's like, man, I'm not doing anything till I get this all behind me. But I guess it was getting worse and worse because he went on Tucker Carlson. So
I didn't realize you guys were friends. I knew Aaron Day and he were friends or worked together because Aaron's at the Brownstone Institute, I think it's called, or one of the fellows of that Roger's one of the supporters.
He was going to come on World Blockchain Roundtable a couple of times. And I'm like, look, man, I promise you that I trust all these guys. It's not a get you. None of them are going to mess with you.
No, he has the sweetest heart too.
Like, yeah, I trust you. It's just, I don't want to do anything else. And, and then I asked him, that was like a while ago. And then he's like, yeah, he said, I'll come and talk to you, but I'll go on that show. World Blockchain Roundtable, but WB after I get all this stuff behind me.
That's awesome.
So,
well, yeah. I know there's other people that, have had 3-letter agencies after them, and they've been told to be careful and not to go on interviews and stuff. Just because, like Roger said in the interview, he said, the tax code is so complex that it's just a case of show me the man, I'll show you the crime. And the fact that he was convicted for following the advice of his accountants and attorneys is insane. And they violated attorney-client privilege by raiding.
Like I think we were talking about people are just tired of the bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like, so I give my money to these people and then an audit comes around and they say, hey, what did you spend this money on? And they're like, oh, we lost $1 billion. The Pentagon failed the 7th audit in a row. They've never passed one. And they're angry because people are mad about it.
They don't want accountability. They've been doing this. They've been stealing our money
that people get in trouble for. I mean, like Hunter Biden, he got in trouble for something. But when it comes to, the IRS, it's like $600. You sent $602 to this person, to Lisa, and you didn't claim this, and now you're in trouble. When nobody gets in trouble for losing tons and tons of money for all that stuff we paid for that was left over in Afghanistan, that's not even supposed to be like brought up.
Well, what is Catherine Austin Fitts, right? Was she the one that found the 22 trillion or whatever that was missing?
Yeah, I don't know. But if people are just tired of this double standard,
This guy this is the video of the guy, and he's like, I warned you guys. I told you if I would bring it back. So it says, there's him driving his car through. This is not to condone.
Whoa! Bro, Call the cops!
Oh, they're MFers instead of whoa. Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people have had enough.
I think people are going insane. That's the thing. People are crossing the line, and a lot of, like, I have friends that are like, "Hey, this has crossed the line." I'm like, "Yeah, but people cross lines when they get to a certain point, and then it's not okay to kill people." But
No, it is not.
there you go. See, you just said it like you're reciting it. It's fine to kill people, and we think it is all the time, but it's oh no, it's not. Violence is not accepted. Violence solves shit. Violence solves shit all the time.
Well, I don't know that it's our place to kill people. Just like I don't think it's right to kill babies. I don't think it's right. And that's where, like in Roger Vere's story, I didn't realize that a big catalyst for him was Waco. And that's what pissed off the IRS, ATF, whatever, was that he called them out on that and called them baby killers. And so I think anytime we lose a human life, that is sad, because I wish that somebody could be like, even if somebody did something horrible,
but you don't think so.
Could
you honestly don't.
Have them.
You don't think so? You think these people? What's the greatest generation ever? The ones that stopped the Nazis? Didn't they kill so many people? Yeah, they did. There's killing people, and it's good. And it stops evil.
I don't know, because I don't know that we were told the right story about all that. So
Japan,
there's things that can't be undone.
Pearl Harbor, the most violent any human has ever been is nuclear. They went nuclear, and it stopped it.
Who was they, though?
We, us, me, you, the United States. We went more violent than anything ever before in the history of our world. And it stopped the violence immediately. It stopped the war. It stopped the deaths.
It didn't, though, Sean. It's never ended. It hasn't ended. One begets another, and it never stops.
No, see, that's philosophical, but that war stopped. That war ended.
No, it didn't.
There is no more Imperial Japan. There is no more.
A lot of people think that NASA, the Operation Paperclip, was brought over here. It's never ended.
But there's no emperor. That's done.
Oh, yeah.
The Japanese war, it's over. So violence works.
Disagree.
Assad is gone. Syria's a free nation, and it's great and wonderful.
But Syria is only free because Turkey is threatening to kill everybody if they come over there and divide it again.
They're free, and their new government is run by ISIS, and it is supported by the Biden administration, the United States of America, you and me.
Because we're funding both sides of the war.
No, we're funding ISIS. The war's over, and we are now totally happy and friends with the government, who is controlled by ISIS.
This is that GEC thing.
UK is sending them $11 million. As long as they're okay to ladies, we're all right. I think that's what we said.
Okay, this is the GEC connection. This is the Syria thing. So this guy did a great. Matt Taibbi, of course, says, "Hey, the Global Engagement Center is usually listed as a State Department entity. It's not. Created in Obama's last year. GEC is an Oh, why did that switch to that? They've changed the picture. Oh, maybe this is. It takes about. Oh, it goes to this Google spreadsheet now. 10 seconds to find non-Chinese figures. Oh, this is the thread that I read through. So they were showing how like all of this is connected. Anyway, I'll put it in the in the link in the Telegram, so everybody can join the free Telegram and see that.
All right, let's jump on over.
Their partners are DARPA
Nothing? Okay.
and all those. Yeah, it's not good. Anyway, so we will see you guys over on Sean's channel. Thanks for watching here. I really appreciate it. Please hit the like Warrior says, on your way out, and we'll see you over at Satoshi Sean's channel.